Welcome back. We're here to do the super chats. I'm going to place you in the waiting room. So if you want to get your super chats in, get them in, grab a cup of sit back and relax, and we'll be live very soon. Okay, we're going to be going live. Have you got your cuppa? Have we all got our cuppa? Are we ready to go? What time is it? Where are you in the world? I'll put the chats up. Hey, how are you, Lois? Welcome, Linda Yates. I hope the help was helpful. I was like multitasking, trying to get everything ready. I usually do have community posts up, and I think it's because most of us have been going through all these retrogrades, very unorganized, a lot of fires we're putting out, in our life. And so bear with me as I'm trying to navigate those situations. It will become more organized, balancing two jobs, trying to get those things resolved. How are we all doing? Well, at least my microphone's on. I have moments where I mute it to put the audio in the background and then I forget to put it back on again and things go pear-shaped. So, how you doing, Leonix? I'll chuck the list up. We do have the list up at the moment and I can update it depending on who comes through. I've got one thing here. I keep reading it. I've got all my little grab your cuppa. It's all these little lists. So, what's new? How are we coping with the transits? Are we protecting ourselves spiritually? Are you feeling, oh gosh, Penny Little, the sky's falling down? This is actually quite a productive week. You may not feel such. You could be getting some of the Uranian energy coming online where you're feeling like, oh my God, I've got so much to do. And, it's going to be really important to actually prioritize the situations as they come up. Research clue. Oh, actually, love. So you may find we're having the full moon in Libra moving into next month. We're also going to have a new moon in Aries. We're having Uranus move out of Taurus. It's been there for a long time. So there's going to be some subjects in that area popping off, but we're moving into that Gemini energy. And yes, that can be, what we do in our day-to-day routine. It's going to change. Those things are changing. And how do we navigate those choppy waters of the Uranian energy? It's Mercury in nature, and it's the things that we do on a day-to-day. So it's like, how was I explaining it? It's like having one foot in one way of doing things and one foot in the other. And we're going to be dealing with that until about June, July. Okay, research clue. Oh, do one thing at a time. My Jupiter's in Gemini, so that Uranian energy is going to be hitting me as well. With education, with learning, with movement, with social media, with health and wellness and things to that degree. So I did have somebody PM me through the website, and they did mention that the problem was when you communicate with me via the website, if you don't enter your email, I can't communicate back with you. So you really do need to enter your email or I can't respond back. And this individual had made mention that somebody had been copying my work. And I think, when we're talking about astrology, it may not necessarily be that they're actually copying. They're just directly seeing similar things to what I'm seeing. So thank you for telling me. But yeah, look, they're variables. They're variables we see. So if you haven't seen the update, I did put an update. And when I went back and actually re-listened to it, I totally side-skipped the Sabian symbol for the Aries moon, which again, I'll try and get into doing the lunations for you guys where I've got time because I'm going to physio. And then trying to work in those so you guys get a bit of a gist about what's happening. Like I mentioned, I already had started a couple of months back where I was offering free PDF guides for those of you that sign up to the website. I'm going to try and tweak it so it is for the members, so you don't need to get a subscription for it because people do tend to get quite confused. So nevertheless, you'll still get it. It'll be, as long as you sign into the website, you'll be able to actually access that. Have we got all the homework out the way? The sale was up on the website and this will be the last week. So get in quick because once we move into the following month, it's closed down again. Just an FYI on that. So we will get into the super charts. We have Cosmic Journey. How are you, Cosmic Journey? How have you been handling transits? Are you all feeling that things are shifting? Is there this intensity? Are we trying to keep our eye on the goal? And especially in the spiritual community, you may find that in the yin and yang of your life, and maybe even in your spiritual connections, there is a signature coming through in the ethers of next month, some transitions. So be open to that, and you may see some actual attitude changes within yourself as well as with other people around you. You could be really looking at your social networks and your friendship groups based on where Pluto in Aquarius is at a collective level. So it's like who you align with and, you know, who you feel has your back and who doesn't. So could we be a bit paranoid? We could be a little bit paranoid. But they say, as doors close, doors open, so try to trust that process. So, Cosmic Journey, do you have a direct question, or should we see just what's coming up? For you, I would say, especially with that Aries moon, you'd need to, again, look at your chart and see where Aries falls. But at a general level, you will find that you will be quite focused in on relationships, contracts, partnerships, wealth. Let's look. I have started pulling the cards for you. Get with the program, Yildiz. So, for you, you could be doing things really behind the scenes. And it might be, you know, if you're going to be working on anything, you're going to want more privacy. And it's actually asked if you have felt that people are having unhealthy boundaries towards you or you're trying to multitask. I would say, especially with these transits moving forward, it's important to not bite off more than we can chew. We're integrating, we're planting seeds, we're moving into the new month. We're going to have some things kind of unfold. So again, it's really key that we be aware of how much we're taking on and what direction feels authentic, and what direct circumstances need our utmost of attention. This can be a good, productive week to actually get those situations addressed or get the momentum going. And also to address any fires you need to pop out while we proceed forward. When we do have clear skies, and that's more spiritually speaking, when you don't have everything pounding you, is the best time to actually utilize that time. Also can be a way of actually getting grounded before you have to address everything. But also, if things are flowing more effectively, it's also a very productive time, providing you put your focus onto something you need to address and don't go into avoidance. Now, I pulled chakra card for you. You do have the sacral chakra energy, which is that Mars energy. You know, it's really, it's powerful, it's strength, it's your oomph to get things done. If you are tired, you'll need to actually balance that chakra. You may also find that you're becoming more assertive. You're looking at different ways to generate an income, put your energy into particular areas very effectively. It is the, how can I put it? My body and my mind are in balance and I am healthy. So yes, you could be burnt out. You know, you will not on a long-term basis be productive if you don't look at what's taking up too much of your time. Do you feel me? So this is a very, it's like putting your power into things, being assertive, you know, having courage. That's very Aries. But the crazy thing is, it's not sitting in Jupiter. So we also need to honor we're in a human body. And how do we actually maintain that? So especially with the transits and how it's hit you, if you directly in a circumstance in life, this card is actually coming up in a reversal, and I'll get the name of it for you. So it's asking you to get into balance, and being in the reversal, it's actually saying you might quite feel fatigued. Your sleep could be out of sync. You can find that as we do move into next month, your sleeping pattern may kind of be alleviated to a degree, but as you know, it's really not going to leave you alone completely till the nodes shift. but you will directly see quite a significant shift as we are moving into next month, where there's going to be a lot more Aries energy. I'd be careful to be spontaneous, reduce inflammation, release anger. This is when you break up, or if you're not in an intimate relationship, this card actually shows up with your sacral chakra of harnessing your energy, taking energy back into you and using it as a means to pour into your creativity. And you actually find you accelerate that path quite significantly. So this is guiding you to recharge. It's guiding you to put your energy into something actually positive. Instead of, anger is an expression of frustration. In dealing with those things, yes, we can move beyond it, but also use it on something quite productive, because it is saying that you could be frustrated, that you feel pulled in different directions, and spread maybe a little bit too thin. Once you've recharged, I do think, especially if there's anything going on within your body, your emotions, your feelings, I think it's going to balance out. And it's just asking you to go over those situations. You might have been dealing with some of these things that are actually aspected on the card. So it can be healing old mental and emotional wounds, improving inner peace, balance, mind, body, and emotions. Now, like I mentioned in the update, I did say I want you guys all to gauge how you were feeling this month and over the last 3 months versus the end of April. I do think quite significantly your attitude and your demeanor is going to change, and some of you may not feel as, what would I say, lacking the confidence, feeling that you're going to tolerate certain things. Your vibration is going to be higher, that you'll have a bit more vitality. And therefore, when we are psychologically spent, we're not looking at things super positively. When we have that cloudiness dissipate and we've got that rest, we can actually move into things in a more positive demeanor and assertive manner, because we feel we have some sense of clarity about the things that were hidden from us. You do, in your crowning energy, feel as though there is a lot that is actually changing. That's within your own world, but within the world as per se. And again, you're coming out of the shadow work that you've been doing and feeling like, you could have this much. Now you're going to be moving into actually manifesting and considering those things. Your heart chakra is feeling as though you have been very patient for a very, very long time. And with that context, you are very much feeling as though you're ready to actually assertively move through, and you're not giving up. You're really pushing for this. I do feel your belief systems inside of your most intimate relationships and connections, you could be putting your foot down with certain things and saying, look, this is the way it's going to need to be in order for this situation to become successful. And if you find people are actually not pulling their weight, I do feel that you're really going to be pushing back and being quite firm and saying, look, these are my boundaries. This is what I feel needs to happen. You might have said in the past, you've had these conversations with a myriad of people, over the years, but this is a very different circumstance. I do find this is coming through very assertively. It's like where situations have felt very taxing towards you, where you feel that it's just been eat, pray, repeat. You're ready to actually bring a complete head to that so that you can liberate yourself out of particular circumstances and have them look totally different to what they currently stand right now. And I do think that's quite positive. The piece of advice that your guides are coming through and saying is you do have the strength to achieve this, but they're also saying if you do hit a snag, what they want you to do is actually just rest. And some of those things, almost like universe does have your back. So it's never that universe is against you. Sometimes we're not understanding the communication style that comes through. So it's almost like we can find we're coming up against doors and we're taking it personal, or that we're having adversity and we're pushing and we're pushing. There's a divine timing at play. And the divine timing sometimes can be about the transits, can be about the circumstances, people, places, and things. They're saying you will not need to push. When you step back and you feel that you don't quite know how you can actually navigate this, I feel it's in kind of pausing for a minute, a solution's going to come to you. And sometimes that can be in quite unusual ways. But they are saying that, keep your secrets to yourself if you have a grand idea. And this can be to do with timing as well. Like, okay, it's funny that this has come up. Something that is hidden is going to come to light. I feel you could be taking quite a tactical approach. I'm going to pull another crystal on that because for some reason, I feel it's got something to do with October. Do you have any plans around October? There's a plan you're having, but in my mind, I feel as though what you are looking towards isn't just the here and now, isn't towards the past, isn't towards just the nearest future. This is actually long term, which really does make sense. You know, April is all about, and especially this week, what can we do to actually set ourselves up for the long term? And I think this is where you're really going. Yes, you're taking a tactical approach. I'm smart, I am open, learning something new, I'm organized. And I think you're waiting on some P's and Q's of info, but your mind is going to become more clear where that is kind of the attitude you're going to take, and you're going to guard your secrets. You're going to be cautious. You're going to be acting behind the scenes with your best interests. And there's a tactical approach. This could also be a conversation with an individual, a plan of action. And this plan of action is going to cause both parties here to actually communicate about, you know, some steps that you could possibly need to take and how to actually implement those things. Clear thinking, release mind chatter, maintain courage and self-confidence, recognize your own intelligence, ease with problem solving. And it does. It feels like you're kind of creating a plan. It feels like a negotiation, conversations behind closed doors, a plan of action, and I'm seeing a 6-month window. I hope that helps. Interesting. Let's chuck that back. We have Leonix next. How are you doing, Leonix? How's work going? Are you like, do I stay or do I go? You may, mid-year, actually have a career transition, especially because Jupiter's moving through your sign. Hey, Lois, are you looking after yourself? Are you over these transits yet? Nice family. We had a lot of storms through the world at the moment, earthquakes, storms, especially those of you in New Zealand. Those of you up north and interstate and overseas. It's been pretty full on the last few months. Not surprised, and I think we do need to be quite open for that, especially because we did have the Pisces moon. We can see a lot more water. More than likely you will, because the transits are there. You know, it could be even, you could end up becoming an entrepreneur, I'll say, because of your placement. Certain careers will bode well for you. So it could be upskilling. It might be advertising, media, high school, universities. Ninth house can be a lot of things. It can also be marriage. It can be litigation. So it can be traveling to a foreign country, meeting other people from a different country, working with them, entrepreneurship. Jupiter's got two good things going for it. If you take the benefits and the gifts of it, you'll benefit from it, right? Because it's like it's going to hand you an opportunity. And if you take it, you know, some movement and growth can happen. It can tend to bless you a little bit more. The other thing is, you know, mid-year, the South Node is going to Leo. So the old version of you is changing. Now, there can be a bit of a side effect of Jupiter, which is if we would hit the gym, for instance, we would build muscle. And again, it depends on each individual's like history and health and if their ability is to do that. Or it can make us actually gain weight. And it is only there for a year. So Sometimes that can be because we're having a child. Sometimes it could be because we're sitting and we're doing a creative project. And so we're nesting and co-creating that. It is your first house. So even the way you look is going to evolve. Jupiter in Leo is actually a positive sign for fitness, but you will have to be careful about not going to extremes, actually focusing in on your wellness, and that's where you can get some goodness from it. You do have, okay, let's see. There's some transitions at the moment in your physical feelings towards this person. We have the moon at the moment, and where do we have the moon? And the moon's in Leo. Funny that. Okay, so the moon in Leo. You could be feeling that you are, when we look at eclipses, for instance, we need to watch for the moon in Leo. Not that it's a bad place, but what does an eclipse do? We'd need to know where the sun is, and how it directly affects our psychology when we're viewing things. So sometimes actually gauging when the moon moves into certain zodiac signs, how it directly impacts you. Again, it would depend on the transits, but generally speaking, it's our home environment. It's, wanting to stay home, go into hermit mode, feeling safe. With your connections, you're really desiring that. With your family, you're desiring that. You can be concerned about home abode. When it comes to love, it's like inside you want to feel comfortable with who you are. So the emotion can be coming from outside, but it also could be sort of coming from inside. We've got the sun at the moment at 8 degrees Aries, and so we can have some wounds about ourselves, how we feel about ourselves versus how we see us. Now, what we need to understand is Aries and Chiron is all to do with us. Now, could it be that people planted that seed of insecurity? It's 100%. Your emotions with your connection with your life and your family and your tribe and where you're going to be and how things go, you've been trying to do things differently, and you have noticed a significant difference and change in the way you have been communicating with this individual. So temperance is all about less is more, going slow, doing things the traditional route. You could be actually questioning, do I need to do something different to that? Was that merely a reflection? Is there something I could do differently? Now, in the heart space, you feel that you have made a lot of sacrifices, which you have. But yes, old anger can at times resurface. But again, you do need to keep your eye on your emotions and the actual physical goal, because they could be two separate things. You know what I mean? If we're not emotionally invested in something, we're not going to do it, but we don't want to just emotionally respond. I reached out to him, but now I'm feeling he doesn't want to. Hi, Lisa. It has. But now I feel he doesn't want to bother him. I would pause at the moment. As we're moving into April, look, this can be a good time to just talk shop, to be, to be neutral, maybe offer the person to come over for a coffee, and keep things quite light. Gauge it, walk into it. This is actually a perfect week to actually do that, reaching out to individuals this week moving forward. But we do have to keep a handle on our anger, and you do have the anger card. So it depends on how you want to navigate this. You have a lot of you don't want things to just be surface value. This could be causing misunderstandings. This could be causing you to feel at times like, where is this going? How is this flowing? And causing anger. So how you navigate that's going to be super important and key. Now, on the other side, I do think as the weeks progress, things are going to smooth out. But I do think it's very important about how you tackle the circumstance right now. I know you have been very patient. The transits have required us to be. I think if you proceed forward in the same fashion, you're actually going to get some success. The thing is, sometimes we underestimate how qualified we are to tackle these circumstances because you get an overall view of how individuals respond to circumstances. And so you just get better at playing chess. I'm angry at myself for reaching out. Why? It was something you wanted to do. You can't curse yourself for wanting to do something. It's a choice. And you felt you wanted to. Just because we don't get what we want right away, that's self-sabotage then, because then we're not operating in our authenticity. Being authentic means honoring the things that you do and don't want, honoring the anger that comes up, for instance, or honoring the frustration. So sometimes we look at emotions as dumbing them down, pushing them down, and being mad at ourselves for allowing something to happen to ourselves. But we're living on earth, okay? This is real. We are going to feel happy, sad, mad, angry, bad for the rest of our lives, on and off. So it's not about tapping out and not living a story. It's about acknowledging what we do and don't have control over. What we do have control over is saying, I feel let down, that something hasn't moved. But then sometimes how we can alleviate that is by looking at transits and going, hey, rejection is universe's protection. So if things aren't flowing, it means maybe some major things in that person's life is going on, and that maybe isn't to do with you at the moment. It's not your fault. It's not something that you're, as per se, doing wrong. You do have changes coming, okay? How you navigate this is going to be important. Don't go into self-sabotage. Don't feel you are the problem. Don't feel you have shit luck, okay? Because it's saying you don't. It's not that. You want some balance, and balance takes time. Balance has taken a lot of time for you. You're not, at the moment, ready to leave the circumstance behind. You do feel you are invested in it. You're unsure about how they feel, and sometimes that makes you feel funky. But you emotionally don't want to cause a tower that's unnecessary. I do feel you're going to have communication coming in. I'm going to ask the cards because it's weird. It's almost like a lot of this I'm seeing through your emotions at the moment in the cards. Let's quickly have a look at something that's coming through for them, because I'm feeling this is chalk and cheese. It's two different subjects. How you're perceiving it versus how they're actually coming through is very different. Pull 3 cards and I'll pull a crystal for them. Do I think they're being intimate with anyone else? No. I do think at the moment they are single. I also feel as though it's not that they're entertaining anybody else. They are quite attracted to you. They do get frustrated that you don't feel that you're attractive. They feel that you're very attractive. There's more going on. It's quite personal inside their life. It's like in their life, they're feeling that something has to give, that something is, needing to change and evolve. And, the juggling things is very much in the past for them. It became too difficult. They have real situations that are causing them a great deal of grief. They're having to go into, I don't know why they're saying this, hiding. I do think there's a bit of financial issues that they're tackling at the moment. So if they're going quiet, they're going through something similar to you. They're like, oh crap, why did I invest in this area? What did I do over here? How do I get myself out of dodge here? They do feel they've got, it's almost like as soon as they deal with one thing, something else is coming up. And the very nature of their safety, security, and physical environment is a big question at the moment. And that can also be because of maybe some financial situations. But I do think they're coming up for air at some point. I do think they're actually going to communicate with you. They're still coming through very genuine. It's not negative. But they're very fatigued because they're overwhelmed about how to handle some of these subjects in their life. I'm not saying anything bad here. I am saying it's more to do with the personal circumstance going on. And also, just finances. It's finances and stability at the minute. I feel as it's going to move forward, things are going to shift. But yeah, they haven't felt their sparky selves really by this crystal. They haven't felt it. So it's not personal, but it is something personal in their life that they're actually dealing with. I spent 4 hours text. You're a jag. But yes, I don't see anything bad there. It could be that you could just ask, do you want to come over for dinner, and just keep it real simple. I think as they're ready, they're actually going to open up to you what the subject matter is. But at the moment, they're over, how do I put it? They're overthinking things to do with safety, to do with, where do I live? What do I do? The world is changing. How can I provide for me and, children? So they are quite overwhelmed. Tracy, thanks, Lois. Oh, hi. Home is where the heart is, eh? Yeah, that's going to be interesting for you as we move to the full moon in Aries. You and home. Won't that be interesting? How you doing, girl? How has life been? So you have butt chakra. Have you had any backaches? Have you had a lot of subjects coming up in your physical home environment? Have you had to put your foot down with boundaries? I'm all about home, yeah. You're picking up on the signature, I'd say. We've got Saturn and Neptune in Aries. We've also got Jupiter in Cancer at the moment, which was big subjects that your energy was really doing with. A lot of old things to do with home and family and, maybe being around family members, maybe the energy of being a mother, things to do with your kids, things to do with maybe past locations you lived in. Life has been... Yeah. Yeah, I really do see Aries becoming more and more assertive. The thing is, it's not to... the other thing we do need to realise is moving into these transits, and this is just a PDF guide for those of you that have Aries, right? Aries in your first house or Aries in your seventh house. If you want to set yourself up for a life of being alone, you can move into the attitude of being, I'm not open. Okay. So it's not about who the person is, it's about what you're going to be open to. We need to find a balance between that Libra and Aries axis. We're going to have a full moon in Libra, we're going to have a new moon in Aries, and that subject is to do with being open. Now, if those of you with those positions move into that subject matter with, I'm just going to stay single forever, you could be setting yourself up for a 14-year energy that way. So you really want to be pretty open and know that you can be assertive, you can attract healthy relationships. We're going to want more mature relationships that have lasting effects, and it's something that we will be more open to working with. So what we don't want to go into is the old storyline. We've outgrown that. We're moving into a new chapter and we're moving into what feels comfortable and authentic. So it's not about moving into a relationship and losing your identity. It's about duality of you having the yin and yang inside yourself, of being a masculine and feminine, and you actually attracting in other people that can take accountability, that can look after themselves, but also can work together as a team. And so that conflict, be it you saw it on a working level or you saw it within your home network, some of the home situations, if there were any cross wires and misunderstandings, you'll find April can be a time to actually iron those creases out. It might have made you feel that you constantly had to give up things. People could have been in lack mentality, but look at you showing up in the heart of it. You're like, I'm manifesting. I'm opening up and manifesting. And you are open to connections, but it's more in a give and take situation. Okay. So there's a piece that's really come over you of late. There's a deeper revelation of, maybe what your part is and what part other people's is, but it's more you're re-identifying with a new version of yourself. And because you're not fighting that, you're not apologizing for that. You're coming into that, the temperance energy. It's like, look, less is more. I don't have to give my whole life over to a circumstance to be worthy of love. I don't have to give my whole life to a career in order to know who I am. I'm so many different things. Do you get what I'm saying? So I think you've really gone through that onion layer of things, and you're coming home to yourself. Now, does it mean you're permanently going to be feeling, hey, I've got this shit in the bag? Not necessarily, but that doesn't mean you haven't permanently changed. You really have. And this permanency can be even to the point where you no longer will let yourself out in the cold. If people expect that, I sort of feel there's going to be a crossing over where those individuals you're going to be really cutting out. Now, if something is being removed from your life, I think this is more a past tense circumstance. We've got the 5 of coins as the outcome card. But the way I'm seeing it is like I was saying before, you will move towards things you need to let go of. You will move towards things that, and step in and assertively state, this has to stop. This has to go. This isn't working. So it can be your nutrition. It could be people, places, and things. It could be a career. The 5s actually do have outcomes that occur very quickly. I did a couple of months ago start seeing the 5s, and I did feel that kind of frequency. Many moons ago, I had the 5s show up, and I was like, oh, hell. I was like, oh, cool, change. Yeah, it's great. But it was everything. It was a relationship. It was a home. It was, career. And had it been initiated, no, it came to me. It happened to me. It was for me, but it happened to me. So whatever these things are, they're going to be for you in the long run. And it does feel very, very positive. Grandbaby, congratulations. All safe and well, I hope. So, the 5s, you're like, I don't know why I had the Rita Ora song. No, it's not Rita Ora. It's Rihanna. It's the one about money. You better have my money. It's stepping up. It's like, look, you're like, I know who I am. I know you. I don't know why I'm seeing you actually saying to an individual, you need me. And this could be at work. It could be at work. It could be in a relationship. It's like, no. This isn't a one-sided transaction. You have gained self-esteem inside of who you are to the point you are probably a great salesperson now. You're like, no. I know I do X, Y, and Z, and I know what I do have to do and don't have to do. And there's a pushback here. There's a shift. There is a shift in your vibration. I'm seeing this overall of very exciting. It is saying, do please be prepared for next month that there can be some surprises, but they're saying it's going to, whatever is shifting and happening very, very quickly, you are going to land on your feet. And I do see this also a possibility in love. We have the daisies around the person's, the archetype's head. you're spiritually protected. But those fives do mean that where your life does drastically change, it will look totally different in another way in April. They're also saying it will be for you. Does that make sense? It's like if something is shifting radically, it's kind of in your favor. It's for you moving forward. You have the skill also, and you have the ability. So do not underestimate yourself. Have some surprises. Possibly you could have some surprises. But again, it's freeing you to be where you need to be. It's taking you to where you need to be. And you are open. You are very open to new possibilities. Where it comes to the TF journey, it could be that this person starts reacting differently and regrets the choices that were made. Time will tell. True Heart. How you been, girl? How's family? Oh, the joy of grandbabies. My granddaughter loves me. Silly girl. She's so cute. Very, very independent. My daughter was comparing herself to her daughter, and I went, oh no, you're doing all right. Good to hear. Yeah, my daughter one could say she had tickets on herself, but it was more she knew who she was. There would be people that were always talking about her hair. So because she always had this reaffirming statement coming from them, oh, your hair's beautiful, your hair's beautiful. She would, when people would come up to her, she'd go, I know. So was it, I know you've been telling me this so many times that I now know it, or was it, I know who I am? I'm not sure. But she was very self-assured, very confident child. And that was at 2. So shit. She is 3. She's so cute. She screams at me through the phone. She's like, no. I'm like, word. I'll try and find a photo of her. She's super cute. This is my old phone. I might not have one. Yeah, she's 3. She's very confident. She's a character. She was over the other day and she was just being really bossy, walking around, telling me how things were going to happen. Three's fun. For my daughter, maybe. I've done the terrible 2s. I can't do that no more. So, Angela, what are we looking at? Do you have a particular question? I was going to say, do you have a particular sandwich? Yeah, unfortunately, between my daughter and me, she's like, her mother was doing 1, 2, 3, and I turned it into an absolute like 1. And she was like, hell no. And my daughter was holding her mouth like, oh my God, this is so funny. She goes, why doesn't she take me seriously? I said she never sees Nana with just no. She was like, handed the keys back to me. And yet she cried. She didn't want to go. She didn't want to go home with mum. She's like, no, I don't want to go with my mum. I want to stay with my nanas. I'm like, honey, I can't look after you. I'm an invalid. Okay, what do we have? Love. Oh, you're heart chakra, girl. What do they need you to know? You got heart chakra in reverse. Yeah. She tests me, that's for sure. Okay, so you've got heart chakra in reverse. This can be to do with love. It's changes I think you're going through. What does love look like? Love can be This is to do with Venusian related subjects. What do you do with the money? How are you going to deal with monetary situations? How do you deal with romantic? And it's like, something's coming to a head, something is shifting. And I don't get this as something bad. I think you're trying to be fair to too many people. But universe is actually resolving this situation for you. Does that make sense? So it's like, oh crap, it could be to do with your mum, it might be to do with your partner and what's going on their side, what's going on yours, and you're like, oh my God, there's so many things to do with this. So it's like, it could be paperwork, it might be documents, it might be how to care for the wellness and the vibration of individuals, where your own personal contracts are, and having some sense of knowing where you're going and not everything being up in the air. And I think for a lot of people, this has been something that's been really slow. And this is your crowning energy. Now, are you going to lose out of this? No. Okay. Are you still in the waiting room with some of these things? You already do have the PDF guide of how it's going. It's being set up for future situations, but it's closer than you think. Now, if you get confused, pause, slow down. If you don't know or you don't, again, I can't advise you legally, but this could be starting something to do with money, that there could be clashes of ego and beliefs. Yes, that can be drama. If you step back, you can actually get more clarity. Trying to come to compromises, trying to come to medium grounds, flowing with it, just flow at the moment. Is this to do with like all the situations you were trying to resolve at the beginning of the year and before Mercury retrograde? They're coming back up again. It's already happening again in my life. It's like paperwork that I'm having to redo, where it started to where it is now, was all through that Mercury retrograde. So anything that we had to do at the beginning of Mercury, we're coming back to again, and we're going to have those forward momentums, both for those individuals involved and for us individually. So it makes sense. Now, can you feel high strung? Yes. Can you feel tense? Yes. Could it increase? Yes, if you focus on the wrong things. If you flow and know, this is like, how can I best describe it? The temporary inconvenience of uncomfortability for long-term truth and long-term realities, and actually having pieces in position. I think all of us would rather have a short-term inconvenience and suffering for a long-term gain. Okay, so I think if there are some inconveniences, we could probably tell ourselves nothing's going to move forward. But I'm telling you, yeah, it was the shittiest Mercury retrograde I've ever had. I've had health issues. I've had tore my ligaments in my ankle. My car broke down. Individuals around me passing away, like paperwork, just so many things. I cannot express it. So stressful. So this is kind of saying, don't hold on for grim death, right? Don't hold on for grim death. Don't freak about the wealth. Do you need to cross your T's and dot your I's? It's definitely saying do such. Play your cards close to your chest. Have the courage. You're going to know what to do and how to deal with things moving ahead, but you do need to read the fine print, right? There is going to be some paperwork involved, and then you're finding you're moving into that new chapter. And that's why I said for a lot of us, the Mercury retrograde isn't over. Why am I saying that? It is in a sense that we're moving forward. All the Mercury retrogrades this year are in water signs. So it can feel emotional. Jupiter at the moment is in Cancer, so it's our family, it's our home, it's mother situations, it's children, it's bringing those subjects and making it bigger. So, and that can be good and bad. Sometimes it can be, how do I look after all these people? How do I financially look after all these people? It can be legal entanglements and things to that degree. It does bring benefits in the long run. It can bring a lot of healing. in the context of this. And sometimes those delays are actually there for the healing. And so for you, True Heart, you know, whatever has been taking a long time, in the process of it, it's been gradually chipping away at the healing for you, your partner, the individuals involved. You know, it doesn't necessarily show up in the way we, maybe an ego felt should have, but it's still inadvertently healing these people. Does that make sense? So the frustration is, when can I start planting seeds? When can I get my life back? When can I focus on the things that I need to focus on instead of all these bloody fires I need to put out? I can relate. It's okay. Yes, it is. The sacrifices you've made, you're going to start seeing that forward momentum, and just have the courage to keep moving forward. But there is a new door. This new door means the brand new seed, the brand new start, the kickoff. This month coming is that kickoff for you. If you feel foggy and you don't know where you're going, I think it's gradually, it's like a drip tray feeding a bird. It's like gradually coming through. Gradually coming through. Outcome card. Let's get a crystal for you. Feels positive. You're going to have to keep out of the nitty gritty though. Oh, that's terrible, love. I think it's more these ending. Look, this is such a healing crystal, Citron. I actually gave this to my twin years ago. I'm using it at the moment. It's actually really good for detox, really good for protection. I'm confident and courageous. It is safe for me to be powerful. This also, a lot of times you find when the sacral chakra is off balance, this is a great gem for it. It works perfectly. And what do we tend to have with the North Node in Pisces? Addictive tendencies, right? So abuse, health, wellness. It's like using particular things that maybe aren't good for you. This is a great detoxer. Now, this also can protect you against individuals that maybe have that demeanor, and you could be really moving those individuals away from you, True Heart. Expanding self-confidence and awareness of personal manifestation, remembering divine essence, increased mental clarity, exuding joy, enthusiasm, and happiness, and shining your light. I kept getting the energy of going back to basics and keeping it simple, right? The keeping it simple is because the happiness doesn't happen from achieving our targets. It's about the fact that you're alive right now and you can go outside and actually have a moment where you can have a bit of a chuckle. We have the blessing of that. So, you know, trying to fit that into your day as well, not just running ahead and going, I've got to deal with this, I've got to deal with that, you know, actually retreating from the world, taking a break from it, so that you can find that zen. You are very protected. You're 100% protected. As to can you be around energies that are toxic? You can, because when you have ascended to that level, they won't directly affect you. So that is giving you assurance that you are actually in protection. Yes, you will have to continue to operate authentically, which you will, and that will protect you. Okay, I hope that helps. But you're definitely going to have your forward momentum. And as to the time frame of complete wrap ups, I would say max 6 months. And even before that, you're already planting new seeds for all these new chapters you're wanting in your life. And some of those new chapters will be things that were on the back burner over the last few years. You definitely are going to find that you are prioritizing yourself over the next 6 months, and maybe asking some very critical questions about who you are, what you want to be, where you want to go, separate to all of this shit. Does that make sense? Your Jupiter will be transiting your second house from your zodiacal sign. So wealth creation is going to be something that's quite big, right? Time frame, possibly even this can be childhood wealth. It also can be subjects you want to do with your marriage partner. And Jupiter is going to bring blessings and communication at the moment for you. Now, sudden changes in the home zone, you will have that again. It's showing everything. Say your home zone, you have subjects to do with the house. You're going to have some clarity about it as you do move into next month. Okay, especially as Uranus moves into Gemini. It's going to, don't do anything radical. I would say pause. Don't make iffy, funky decisions yet. Wait for that transit to come through. I hope that helps. Linda Yates. How are you doing, Linda? Do you have a particular question? Did I miss anyone else on the list? In case. I'm not always organised. I'm crossing my fingers for you, my dear. Let's get a crystal. Oh, you're very protected. Pay attention to what is going on around you. You have black lobster. A lot of times when we are needing spiritual protection, you'll go tomboline or obstinate. Okay, it could be that you're very susceptible to energy at the moment. You could have psychic tendencies. If there's individuals that are younger around you, it can be a great gem to actually use to actually protect them. Releasing negative thoughts, maintaining attention, and in the present moment, increased spiritual awareness, improved responsible thoughts and actions. But this is a protection energy. You know? Yeah, you can, love. That's fine. I will be closing it down shortly, though. Okay, so you could be questioning what direction to go. You are coming up as the Five of Swords. This can be that you feel like you've been in a battlefield and you've been moving through things. Fives is be careful of what you're fighting for. Fives are very, it can be almost like you have actually been going through quite a bit and trying to chunk through it. The other thing is it can be, we could look at the Five of Swords as an empty victory. It's like, really gauging what your fight is. Haven't spoken to Twin in a year. Is he doing good? I've been healing and keeping myself open to new partner. Just trying to stay in the flow. Are you connecting with somebody at the moment? I think at the moment you still feel energetically like you're protecting yourself, okay? You may feel as though, how do I put it? It can be that your psychic energy is coming up with this person recently. Just got back in touch with my brother and healing. Okay. So this is a recovery stage. You did need to go through, maybe you got to a point, this is how it's coming through to me. You got to a point where you were working in a particular direction, maybe with that individual, and it does help to have more context of what you're actually looking at. With the Five of Swords, It's like you may have come to a head where you felt you were fighting for something that wasn't fighting for you, so you had to step back and do the inner work. Now, the black obstinate, it was also to protect yourself. It was to get into that space where you could get back into alignment. Make sure you watch them, okay? Sometimes what happens is they can, because it's like you're getting some psychic downloads. I don't know why I'm seeing a pot plant, but they're saying wash them with salt, okay? Just have them washed, recharged, put them back into place. But a lot of it you're actually doing now because it's coming through you. Initially, it was the support of obstinate, but they're saying that you can be getting some psychic downloads that there's a shift. I get the fives, there's something quite big is coming. This can be linking to this person and it could be making you a little bit nervous. You have put a lot of the burden of carrying situations down. You may also get some gossip that can come through the grapevine, even as we are away from Mercury retrograde. You do feel where you are right now is a lot better than where you were before. You're in a better mind space, if that makes sense. I get the cup song. I don't know why I'm getting the cup song. You're going to miss me when I'm gone. It's like this person regretting that you are moving forward. I just get the cup song. It's like tapping out and going, but this is something that's already transpired. Do you get what I'm saying? The cup, have you heard the cup song? I'll try and find it. Where is it? I've got to make sure I don't turn it on. Obstinate also protects you against psychic energy. Okay, so if you feel that the channel and the connection, the intuition, and again, this is future tense, so you do have the star card coming up, right? There's a new chapter. There's you coming out of the darkness and into the light. We have the backstabbing card, but it's more, how do I put it? What you're vibing with at the moment is wanting to be in more alignment so that A, you feel protected and things are coming towards you. So you are operating in this receivership mode. It's like being patient, being authentic. But you did get very tired and it felt like something had to shift. That's how it's being shown to me. With the star card, this is mentioning that your hopes and dreams are not over, that the blessings of it are to come to you, which is the star card going through the channel. And this is before we even get to the outcome, all right? So something in the ethers is actually moving you and protecting you in a very positive way. On the other person's side of the fence, I feel as though there is a shift with circumstances. There are regrets they are feeling. And a physical environment situation looks like it's changed. We have the Chariot as your outcome card. Okay, so on their side, it does feel within their tribe, or that, you know, if there was a karmic situation, it feels like something's changed there. But it definitely does feel changed completely. I do think you're going to get the movement forward. There is a proposal coming for you, some sort of a negotiation or a proposal. I feel you're going to come to a crossroad. As soon as I saw that, it was like a split road. You don't have a choice between two paths. I'm going to pull a clarify for both roads. What one do I use? Animal spirit. You got 7 of Swords. What is the path that you're going to take? Do you have something in your intuition? So funny. What year are we in? The year of the horse. And how many cards fell out? 3? 3. Okay. We're in the year of the horse. So it's happening this year. I'll leave that for the crowning. Somebody has actually changed. Oh, hell. Oh, okay. Question. Would you say your TF and this other person are similar? Look after yourself, Lisa. Because this is saying that, you know, there's something in it that they're similar. The two energies. There was something you were meant to see here. You are protected, but they're saying, open your eyes. Open your eyes. Somebody is changing. The person you feel that is the sure deal is the person you may start looking at is the non-sure deal. That's what they're saying. I can say that has actually happened to me. I was like, the one that was very predictable was not predictable. My whole perception changed because you've got shapeshifter and trickster with the 2 paths. You're needing to see something at the moment about what in truth is going to be authentic for you. You're going to be free to choose what you are. You're going to have the quick thinking. You're going to have the psychic protection. You're going to intuitively see it. But something for you is changing. You're still getting the Star. You're still getting the Chariot. But it's something in you is changing in your perception. And I don't feel you're going to be scared anymore. I feel this is opening a door for you. And it's like with this revelation, these doors open. 2 paths, 2 people, 2 choices, 2 viewpoints that are going to radically change. And you're going to have the freedom to actually choose what's going to be for you. Don't be scared. Don't feel the pressure that you have to decide today. You're not going to have to. You're going to choose within your time frame. You're going to choose what you feel is correct. And I do see, how do I explain it? It's like it's going to be authentic. It's going to be authentic to you about, regardless of, how do I put it? It's almost like we can't make everyone happy, right? So not being able to make everyone happy means you will go into what makes me happy. If yes, obviously being truthful to people makes them happy, but it's also first, it's happening with you for some reason. It's like you're going to make the choice. Somebody is going to be unhappy, but in the long run, they will be happy. Do you get what I'm saying? Because it's about honesty and authenticity. And yeah, you're going to have a choice. You may feel guilty initially that you have a choice, but then you'll realize, hey, well, I can't just stay for guilt. I have to stay or do something out of truth and authenticity. Does that make sense? So the choice is going to be yours. Research clue, last but not least. It feels like a choice between 2 people. You're going to have a choice between 2 paths, 2 people. And the choice is going to be you are making the choice. Could be sometimes we get concerned that if we go off in a certain direction, that what happens if that other person comes back? All we can do is show up authentically and just take things one day at a time. Okay? Solar Plex Chakra research clue. How are you going, girl? I tell you. It is safe for you to be powerful. Whose ass are you whooping? Oh, word. You could be having some challenges also with your kids. Yeah, do I have the energy? I am always in the right place at the right time with the right people. Probably don't feel that. I've had such terrible hay fever lately. I've got these totes that I put storage goods in, grandbaby's toys and things, and they smell like melted tires, and I keep sneezing every time I smell them. Okay, chakra card. You got all this healing going on. Okay. If I had to go into a challenge research club, I'd want you there with me. They need you. Yeah. Well, again, they're still showing two energies here, so it could be somebody else, but you can have two paths. You got two different two definite paths there. Okay. You have research clue. You got the solar plexus. Your creative energy is going to come back online. You also may feel you're trying to be positive. You're like, look, I'm here for a reason. It must be I'm doing this for a reason. Improved timing, increase the occurrences of synchronistic opportunities, be inspired with creative ideas, develop understanding of various cultures and spiritual philosophies. This crystal here. You are grateful for where you are right now. You're grateful for the information, the logic, and the reality. You're grateful for the clarity and the belief systems in you. You have this intuitive access, and you are able to see things that other people can't see. They're showing me that because of that factor, your home, your environment, your tribe is going to be very protected. And your sense of direction and how you're going to tackle these circumstances is going to come online. 7. You got duality here. Cool. Oh, we have to choose ourselves. 100%. Okay, so research clue, you've got self-expression. There is going to be some communication you're going to have, and I think it's because of that. You might be actually picking up on this could be something that is happening in a work environment, for instance. And it's giving you a vibration of how to proceed forward. This is within partnerships and contracts. This is with your wealth and what to do. I keep hearing you've still got time. You've still got time. Listen for the signs, align yourself. One step at a time. I see a pushback. I do see a bit of conflict you might be coming up against in the next 3 weeks, but I think you can handle it. Okay. I don't know why I get the term pressure test, and the pressure tests that you were going through was to see where the weak spots were. Whatever those weak spots were in your own personal life, and as well as something else externally that you were dealing with, I feel it's giving you a more resourceful way to tackle this. And I don't think you're going back into it with, oh, I didn't see that, I didn't feel it, I didn't sense it. I think you're going back into it with logic. Okay, I've got to take some steps. And they can be small steps you take in creative ways. What's this? This is creative ways to protect yourself and align yourself. So what you were leaving behind was putting down burdens, but like I said, the thing I was really getting is it was like a pressure test you were going through. It serves a purpose. It was there for a reason. You might not feel it now, but it's caused a change in your opinion of life. And because that change has come about, you're now going to pivot. You're not going to forget what you've sensed, you've seen, you've experienced. You're like, okay, some changes have to happen here. You're putting yourself on the chessboard in a very lucrative position. Okay. Sometimes it's like you're jumping in and out of the world. It's like having, how do I explain it? It's like you almost feel like everything's going back to normal and you're proceeding forward, and some old opportunities can be coming back, but then you're like, no, I do need to be on the guard for this. It's like Alice in Wonderland. I don't know why I'm getting that. And I do think the North Node in Pisces is a bit of Alice in Wonderland. This is why I said to you guys, through that Mercury retrograde, what we don't want to do is go back to sleep. And well, what does that mean? It's not some spiritual lingo. It's based on the transits. Because what can happen is we got foggy in the Mercury retrograde. We had reality checks, pressure tests, and things that we were actually looking at through what? Mercury retrograde. So it's through that. It pressure tested those situations, homes, family, etc. And I think where you are, Research Clue, you're in revelation of that. Now, do I think some opportunities can come towards you and you can be like, oh, yeah, no, that sounds great. Yes, but remember that you now, through that process of the Mercury retrograde, it showed you the pressure test. It showed you what is and wasn't working, what can withstand the pressure points. And so because of that, I do see you pivoting to prepare yourself. Doesn't mean to say you won't take opportunities or go in particular ways, but you're actually creating a map to set you up for more stability in the long term. So I do see you actually pivoting. I do see you listening. And I just keep getting gossip coming through the grapevine of what people are saying. And it's because of that, it's giving you this map. Yeah, Spirit of Fire. It's putting a fire under your ass to get things done. You're even coming up as the Knight of Wands. I do see that this is Pluto, man. This is Saturn and Pluto. How do I explain it? These two cards here, how it's been shown to me is you've got some people around you that are showing their true colours. These can be people in hierarchy, in a position of work, individuals, how they're actually operating. It's day and night. I do think something's going to come in very quickly. Information, gossip, resources, opportunities. You are going to have to spring on it, but I want you to think it through. I want you to think it through, and I want you to keep in mind I don't know why, I do get that. You could be getting an email from an old place, somewhere you were before, so maybe a letter you sent out. You could be getting some responses. Okay. How do I explain this? This has come up a few times. Might need to later on do a tarot reading. See what the collective energy is. Might do it tonight. What are they all about? Something will go in your favour. Look at an individual here that sits on their butt and does nothing. Okay? I think I need to add Antonella too. Okay, so medicine bag. What is this? They're saying even if something is offered, they're still saying 6 months. But it's like something's changed in you. I think, regardless of what is actually happening in the industry, you've changed. It just feels like you've changed. And because of that, because you've changed, even though you could be maybe going, okay, once upon a time I really wanted that and I really thought that was great. You're looking at it differently now. So if you feel something's not working, it's kind of like you're just not going to push to actually make it exactly the same. Okay. Now we have, last but not least, Antonella. I'll just turn that off because you know who it is. I forgot to put you up on the list, Antonella. So I hope that helps research, Chloe. I'm doing yours now. Let's see what's coming through. Yeah, I think we're going to have to do a collective reading maybe tonight, you know? Let's see how it goes, providing I'm not sneezing like an idiot. What do you want to know? Oh, I've been craving chips. So funny, all these cards are coming up in the reversal. My body and my mind are balanced. I'm healthy. You've been critical on yourself. Reduce inflammation, release anger, resentment, heal old mental and emotional wounds, improving inner peace, balance mind and body and emotions. Okay. It's so funny. I feel you do think you have got on top quite a bit. There's an individual here that is coming back. You could be having a visit from a relative. This relative could be overseas. This could be a parent energy. There is something changing in their life. All right, you're so focused on your goals. It's like a freight train. Chirp, chirp. It's like you're really ready to go. You're like, can we just get a move on? Slow down. They're saying, slow down. They're also saying, don't freak out about wealth. It's going to flow. Tune out of it. Don't freak out about love. Just be very, how do I express it? You got heart chakra in reverse. So for you, it's like there's a healing there. There's a transformation happening inside your life. You've got two paths that you are looking at that you're very passionate about. I don't know, how do I put it? In some ways, these two opportunities or two jobs, because it's in the heart space, right? You got the two of coins. I feel as though it's going to be a choice between what, at the moment, how it's coming through is what's going to give me more money. I'm just going to be real, okay? But what lights you up, that is what you're going to be focusing on. I think that can be the key. You're having a new chapter, especially with your confidence in your wealth. I do feel that you're investigating something. This could be doing some research towards a plan that you want to achieve, a goal, a hope, a dream. I also see a person from the past actually resurfacing in some shape or form. They're going to see you in such a different light at the end of this. You might actually bump into somebody that you really don't want to as well. We've got a fucking classical karmic card popping up. Just hold your head high and keep going. I just keep hearing this. Less is more. Less is more. You're not cursed. It's not bad luck. Flow. You could be hearing some surprising news. It could be sending you a bit like into a spiral with this news that comes in, but I don't think it's coming in yet. They're saying by keeping your eye on the goal may mean tuning out of this particular individual and not going back into a pattern with it. Wherever this karmic energy is, it does tend to cause you to second guess yourself. And they're saying don't do that because it'll actually sabotage your growth. Tune out of it, let them do them. Don't even look into what they're doing, who they're with, how they're acting. Tune out of it because they're saying it's actually going to affect your progress. It will sabotage your outcome. Like, tune out of them. Don't tune into them. Don't research. Don't look at them on social media because they're saying it's going to affect your progress and your flow. And you could be looking at this particular individual as either, how do I put it? It's like that has power somehow, or that changes the whole trajectory. And they're saying it absolutely doesn't. You really do need to tune out of this person. You need to stay very, very focused on your goal and very focused on just putting one foot in front of the other. If you go off track, this is really going to tip your scale. So you do need to be mindful not to focus on that energy. I would say this month coming forward, because they're saying there's 2 big opportunities for you coming ahead. And if you slip, you will lose that portal and you could accidentally self-sabotage, and it's something you really don't want to do. I hope that helps. Thank you, Lois. Do you want me to pull some cards for you, Lois, for doing the moderating? Do you want me to pull 3 cards for you, love? Friendship is so nice. That light is such a terrible angle. There's a lot of happiness coming your way, love. You probably think, this is just where I'm at and everything's going to stay the same. They're saying that there's going to be this big change. At the moment, you're stepping forward each day. Your enthusiasm is going to peak. If it has been a bit backwards of late, it does see that there is going to be this kind of, how can I put it, lightness that comes through. You got golden topaz. I just see somebody running down. I don't know why I'm hearing this. It's like Dorothy and the yellow brick road, and I see somebody running down a yellow brick road. You're going to get some gossip. I feel this is to do with them as well. Yellow topaz. You're so focused on your own life. I feel this is to do with TFs. This is to do with a romantic interest. This person, so funny. It's like no kids around them. It's weird. There might have been psychic energy you picked up on, maybe around the birth of the child, but that child also can be quite psychic. But I'm picking up a time frame. This feels like, well, the moon's in Leo. The strength card's Leo, but I don't know why I get there's something in this person's relationship that's going really haywire. Okay. This person's actually quite psychic. Okay, they're becoming very, very focused. They're repelling negative energy. It's like I'm seeing a person stepping out of a snake's skin. Okay, what does this say? Calm hyperactivity, stay grounded and focused, repelling negative thoughts and energy, releasing annoyances and distractions, encouraging inner peace and the quiet of the mind. I feel from these cards, I'll show you, like this person's got to the point where they're going, look, you know, I've been self-sabotaging the journey, things have been pulling me back. I have this frequency where I'm having the strength, I'm addressing a karmic. Your life is coming through as golden topaz, that you're very you know, you're in the here and now, you're focusing on your own path. But the outcome card is the Emperor. So I do see this person actually having a revelation of something that is not for them, and they're very, very psychic. Like they're full on psychic. They're really like, you can't block me from seeing what I want to do in my life and who I am and how I feel. There's been a lot of crap happening in this person's life with these people. The last leg of the journey, they're saying, like they feel young. They feel like they've rejuvenated in their vibration. But definitely becoming more assertive. I wouldn't be surprised if you actually, you know, with your gift, don't pick up on it, or your tribe picks up on it. I will love you and leave you there. And if I do have time, I will come and do the live collective energy maybe later on tonight, if I have insomnia as per usual. Take care.